Yes, sir, baby. The Radar Radio. Yo, joining me today, all the way from Canada. I love when I get to interview artists from out of the country. My God, Boslen, what up, bro?
Well, thank you for having me, bro.
Man, I'm excited. Dusk to Dawn out now. Yo, this album is incredible. I love it so much. And I'm so excited that, it's finally here because we've been talking, me and your label been talking about going back and forth
Yeah,
to make this interview possible for a while now. So I'm excited to have you. How you feeling, bro? How's everything? How's everything been since the release of this project?
it's been good, man. I'm grateful. I finally had like the last couple of days had a moment to myself to just reflect on everything, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll be just extremely grateful for everything that's happening, man. It feels like once you're doing something for
Mm-hmm.
so long, instead of just looking at your goal, but you're actually just living it right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, man, like it's the best feeling in the world. So I'm just happy that everybody's healthy and the project out.
Word. I want to break down the project. I want to go into it a little bit more, but since I'm in New York and I want to help introduce you to my folks out here in New York who may not be hip yet, I want to get a little bit of your history. So how did the music first start for you? Like when did this all kind of begin?
Basically, it probably began 3 years ago. I was
Okay.
playing rugby for 6 years for Team Canada, and I got a scholarship to the University of Victoria. It's probably an hour outside of Vancouver, and I went there for the first year, and I tore my ACL. So devoting like 6 years of my life to like a sport, I didn't really know what to do, man. So I was like kind of lost at the time, and I was like honestly depressed. And that's when I kind of picked up the pen and started writing a lot. And the first day at university, I met my manager named Isaac Markinson. He was there for business. I was just there for rugby, and we were just kind of making some music in the dorm rooms, like shopping around to like at parties, honestly. And people were like, what is this song we're playing? And I was like blown away. I was like, how do you actually like this music I'm making in the dorm? I was tripping out. So from there, I was balancing rugby and music at the time. But then I found out I tore my ACL for the second time. Like I came back and I tore it again, like my third game at the school. So from that moment, I was like, okay, I gotta really devote all my focus to music then. So from there, we did some shows in Victoria. They did pretty well. But then I think the real movement and like the devotion happened was when we dropped out of university. And I was sleeping on Isaac's couch, like out here in Vancouver for like 6 months. And we were just going to different studios. We were going to pop-ups. We were meeting different artists out here. And I was trying to do everything I could to just kind of break into the scene of Vancouver. And from there, I was lucky enough to meet my creative director, like Natasha, and the independent label out here named Chaos Club with Buck Nikosi. And we just kind of built a team, and I just kept going. So that's about it.
Damn, and now we here.
And now we're here, yeah. And I was thankful enough to link up with Capitol Records and, yeah, drop the album. So I'm just grateful, bro.
So it's been 2 years since you put out Black Lotus. So for
Yeah.
you, was it like, you just didn't want to put out music like that during the pandemic? Because obviously you had, a song in 2020, but was there like a reason for you had multiple songs in 2020, but was there a reason for like the wait, the delay? Like what was kind of going on during that, this gap?
For Dust To Dawn or Black Lotus?
For Dusk To Dawn. Because from
Yeah.
Black Lotus to Dusk To Dawn, there's like a 2 year gap. So that's what I was
Yeah.
kind of inquiring about.
Man, I really wanted to just take my time with this project. My executive producer and I, his name's Oz, bro, and he's like one of my best friends. He really like held me down for this process and taught me the idea of what artistic integrity was and taking some time on your music. So that 2 year gap was really us perfecting our craft and finding out who Corbin was again. I didn't want this project to be something you could just pick up and put down. Compared to like a project like Black Lotus. I want it to be a project where you have to just sit and listen through and find out where my deepest, darkest insecurities are, where my highest levels of empowerment is, and explore that realm of like, escapism and being introspective and the shadow theory of Carl Jung, the philosopher. And we tapped into so many pockets, man, but it was so much fun creating it. And I really wanted to just be perfect and authentic.
What do you feel like was like the one thing you really learned about yourself when you were creating this project?
That's a great question. Patience. I think I learned patience, man. I'm kind of, I want to get things done, but the best way to do it is just taking your time and really reflecting on your craft. I think that's the only way to do it. So we kind of pushed this project like 5 times because we wanted to just be perfect and, compare songs to one another and try to get the proper features on it. And there's so many little things. I'm sure you've been in the industry for a while. So yeah.
So how did you get signed to Capitol? How did this partnership come about?
So I dropped the song Vultures, I believe. And I think my A&R heard it at a club or something in LA. So he literally just DM'd me. His name's Carter. And we kind of just chopped it up. I wanted to see like what his personality was. He wanted to see my personality. So we actually took a trip to LA. And yeah, we just met and kind of chopped it up from there. And it was really genuine, man. He's one of the most like just real people I've ever met.
I fuck with that. And then the rest was history.
Kind of, yeah.
How long have you been signed now?
I'd say a year, I think.
Okay, okay. And this is the first project, of course, under the label.
Yeah, yeah.
That's dope. And so with the features on it, so you got, you had someone who has been on my show before. You had Dro Kenji on the album. And first of all, that record is incredible. I was literally just telling you how I was playing it in the station, and one of the DJs walked by, and he's bopping this. He's like, "Yo, what is this shit? This shit hard." And I was like, "That's Nightfall, Boslen, Dro Kenji." You know what I'm saying? This, hard.
Bro, shout out to Dro Kenji, man. He went crazy on this. He went crazy.
How did you pick these features? Like, how did these all come about? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's quite a few features on the project. But how did some of these come about?
I think one of the first ones was Vory. We had him for a while, and he was on Forsaken. And that literally just came from me and Oz brainstorming who we wanted and who we thought like had that idea of artistic integrity and who inspired me. Because I didn't even know who Vory was until Oz showed me. So once he showed me, I think it was the song You Got It, and it was by him and Louis Bell. And man, like that blew me away. Like his voice and his sonics, like I really just admired it. So I literally just DM'd him, and when we kind of chopped it up from there, and I showed him the song and he enjoyed it. And then when it came to features like Rascalz, you know, that song more than anything, the song Note to the City, it's the interlude for the album. And I really wanted to showcase the city because I felt like at the time, there wasn't really anybody reflecting on the past of coming from Vancouver. And I was looking at artists like Beastie Boys. I was looking at old rappers, but I was like, why don't I just look in my backyard? So I looked up a YouTube video, like, I think it was like rap in like 1990 or something. I don't know. I was going down a rabbit hole.
I love it. Yeah.
And the Rascalz popped up, man. And they like were the first like rappers to, you know, be on Much Music and to get the Juno and like represent like Black excellence and all this stuff. And I think they were one of the true trailblazers. So I asked my management to set a meeting with them, and I met up with DJ Chemo, and man, he's like one of the most genuine people as well, and like super respected. So I kind of pitched him the idea of Note to the City, the song of like me kind of talking about Vancouver, but it's like through like a woman in a way, and she's like represented. So that was amazing. And then we got Charmaine. I kind of want to just blend East and West Coast of Canada.
Okay.
So we kind of connected that. She killed it. She's like, it reminded me of like Nicki Minaj on like Monster, man. Like she went crazy. And then we got, who else? Tyla Yaweh. So the song Deny, that's like probably my favorite song I've ever made. It's like one of my most vulnerable. And we really took the time on the record. And I really wanted an artist who would tap into the same kind of feeling of that, of talking about like relationships and how there's high and there's lows and all these different like emotions when it comes to it, but still being authentic. So I found Tyla Yaweh, and I really respected Post Malone and what he did with Hollywood's Bleeding and that whole project. So Tyla Yaweh, I thought was a perfect fit.
Right, because even like some parts of your project, you kind of get like that. Not like it's a super like rock influence feel, but you see like those types of influences on some of the records too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we pulled a lot of inspiration from like Hollywood's Bleeding, Old Weekend, Travis even, man. I get a lot of Travis comparisons, but I feel like he's literally one of my biggest inspirations, bro. Like I love Travis Scott, I love Kanye West and what they did for the culture. So
right, because I saw a lot of people in the comments talking about like the Travis comparisons. I didn't know how you felt about it, but like that's good to know that like.
I think honestly, man, a lot of people they talk to me about it and they're like, do you see it as like a negative? Do you see it as like something bad? I'm like, no, I honestly don't. I feel like I've been doing this music for not even long enough for me to have my own sound yet. So I see it as like, you know, when like there's a kid walking like a baby, he's gonna copy his parent to learn how to walk, you know? And like I feel like Travis to Weeknd to Post Malone to even Dua Lipa to, you know, BB King to like all these different artists I pull inspirations from, you know, ultimately there's gonna be a day where I do have my own sound. And I think it just takes people, you know, kids' attention spans are so short nowadays, especially on TikTok. They're gonna hear one sound and be like, okay, this sounds like this. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I need to earn my respect. I need to earn, you know, my own sound. And that's just gonna take time. So I accepted that.
Word. I love that. I love that outlook. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, you could look at it and be like, damn, did I mess up or this and that? But like I figured in this case, when I was listening to the song, I was like, you know what? It probably is like, because you're 22, right?
Yep.
I'm 25, and we both were in that time period. Like when I was early on in college, Days Before Rodeo came out. And I remember on my college radio show, I actually gave away tickets to Days Before Rodeo out in New York, right? Yeah. Crazy, right? So I gave away tickets to Days Before Rodeo whatever that tour was out in the city. And you know, and at that time you were in high school. So
I didn't even know who Travis Scott was at the time, actually.
okay, well, you know, obviously now you know, but the point of the matter is that like we grew up through that period where he was coming up, and like that period of time of that music influence, like you can see how it shapes a lot of artists today too.
It's prominent because I feel like in the music industry, and I'm sure you like notice this as well, but the music nowadays, man, albums, they're not like full-length albums. They're not experiences like they used to be. There's singles, there's lots of singles, and there's nothing wrong with that. But with Dusk To Dawn, we wanted it to be an experience, you know? And I think a lot of people do forget that. When Travis first got into the scene, you can go on the old Reddit, you can go on old pitchforks. Like he used to be compared to Kanye. People would rip him and be like, why are you copying Kid Cudi? But I think it's just a natural thing, man, when, you know, he's at the level with Kanye's and like the crazy levels that they're pushing the Sonics. And if you do listen to this album, I guarantee you are going to listen to songs like Forsaken, Ashes, Dawn, where there's literal Sonics and things where it's going to make you think, because I don't want people to really understand it. I want people to just, you know, take it how it is.
Word. I like that outlook on it, because like you know what, I didn't even think about that with the Travis and Kid Cudi stuff and the Kanye stuff. I didn't think about that, because oftentimes people will be like, oh, Travis is the product of like Kanye and Kid Cudi, but like they don't say that he's trying to be them. You know what I'm saying? So for you,
I'm not sorry to cut you off. I don't think he's necessarily trying to be them.
No. I'm just saying, like, based on what the old Reddit comments that you were just talking about, like that people would see. I wasn't saying that you were trying to say that. Don't worry, I got you. No, but like I remember, but like now that you bring it up, I remember that. Like I remember, like people were like, oh, like he's just trying to be like Kanye's son or Kid Cudi's son. So in all fairness, you know, when you do get those comparisons, it's not a bad thing. It's literally just like, you know what, every artist has to go through this. You know what I'm saying? Even Kendrick and Cole probably went through it at some point, and Drake too, you know?
%. I kind of take it as like a compliment, honestly. A lot of people are seeing it as like a negative, but bro, I know at the end of the day, in like 5 years time, it's not going to be a thing. So
no, it's great. And you know what when we're on kind of like this topic, something I saw that you tweeted was, you said, what I've learned quickly is you could pray for that goal every single night, but once you achieve it, you'll always want more. It's a never ending cycle to chase the happiness. And I never thought, you know what I'm saying? I never related anything more, because when we were filming this, we just hit 1 million views on my YouTube channel, and I think 2 million views on, thank you, and 2 million views on TikTok. I appreciate it. But I feel that, because like, you know, I'm just because now that I hit that million, I'm like, all right, I want a billion now.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Man, like more than anything, it's not even in the music industry. Like it's exactly the same in sports when I played rugby. And like we're beings where everything we do is compared to either someone else or what we can do. We're never living in these moments. And I was just talking to my friend last night about it. It was like 3 a.m. and we were just talking about like, just look around, bro. Just look what's happening. Like, it's not like the end goal, and this is gonna sound cliche, but bro, it's not the end goal that you want. It's gonna be the whole journey. Bro, you hear Billie Eilish talking about it. You hear, I don't know, every single artist, Post Malone. You can go to any interview, and bro, they all say the same thing. Like it's the process. It's what you're doing with your friends. It's those old studio sessions, man. It's like the grind. It's, you know, the days that you don't want to wake up. Like that's what you got to live for, bro. And I'm just, like I said before at the beginning of this interview, bro, I'm just extremely grateful. And I've been looking up to what you guys been doing for New York, like since like the day, bro. So I appreciate you and taking this time too.
Nah, yeah. And you know, like I feel that, because I be thinking about that sometimes too. You know, I guess an interesting example is, so I did an interview with this kid, Dusty Locane out here. And the interview, we did it it was booked for 12 a.m. at a studio that they were at. And we didn't do it until 2 a.m. And I didn't go home until 4 a.m. because we hung out after. And it was funny because I was like, part of me was like, yo, go home, go get some sleep. Like you got work in the morning. But then the other part of me was like, no, fuck that. When are you going to have this experience again? You know what I'm saying? Like enjoy it while it lasts, because there's going to be a day where you can't do this type of shit anymore. Bro, so enjoy the process of getting to that point that you're trying to get to.
Bro, that's the thing. And I think that's so crazy that you just said that, man, because last night I was thinking, because I'm living in Vancouver right now, and I'm thinking about moving to LA, like probably after Christmas, and like just taking a risk, just couch surfing, just like doing what I can, you know, just to like connect with more people. And that's the biggest thing, man. Like, when are you going to be at this age again where you can take the risk? You know, when are you going to be in a position where, you know, it's okay to fail? You know, have you ever seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness?
I have.
It's one of my favorite movies, man. I
love that movie.
It's like what he goes through, man. It's crazy.
it's insane what he goes through.
Yeah.
But that movie is beautiful, and that's a good point. Well, okay, so speaking of like moving around and whatnot, so tour's on the way, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can't wait to announce it. We should be announcing pretty soon. I'm really excited, bro. I miss performing so much.
So so how do you think you're gonna hit New York? What's the vibes? What we thinking?
I can't say anything yet,
All right,
but
all right. I gotta ask.
just know it's gonna be crazy. Bro. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I think being, more than anything, like a 360 artist where you can perform, write, everything, like that's like the bread and butter, man.
Also, it was funny. I don't know if it was your Twitter or Instagram I was scrolling on, but I saw the merch that you put out for the project. That shit is fire.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
That shit is fire. Yeah, Kev, you in this car with me, bro. Send me some merch. Send me some hoodies I could rock around, wear around New York. I want to promote the album. He said, got it. No, but I always appreciate some good merch because it looks like, when people take time and care into creating their merch because of how it comes out. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with what you put out.
Yeah, we wanted Dusk To Dawn to be like the full world, from the music videos connecting to one another to how there's Easter eggs in that of like the music where it's like everything, the album trailer to the merch, like really representing like your shadow theory. That's kind of what we approached on this side. Like I said a bit earlier, like Carl Jung is a philosopher and he came up with this ideology of the shadow theory, and everybody has a shadow. And what that basically means is that everybody has their own insecurities, everybody has their vulnerabilities, but representing that and like kind of casting that on another being, we do it when like we compare ourselves to others. So on this album, I kind of just put my shadow all on this album, and like that was represented in the merch as well, of just being okay with using that vulnerability into empowerment. So I'm definitely gonna send you some, bro. I'm happy that you like it though.
Nah, I love that shit. Ask me how much, like at one point in my life, I was only wearing merch. Like I have like old Drake like sweaters. I got like old like Kanye old. You know what I'm saying? I went through a phase, but I still wear merch like all the time because it's just like.
What do you think about the Donda merch?
The Donda merch. The Donda merch was which one? The Balenciaga shit.
Yeah, the Balenciaga shit.
I wouldn't pay for Balenciaga. Honestly, you know what's funny, because when they put out when DMX passed away, long live DMX, there was like merch that came out for his I guess for his like his going, like his going home ceremony, whatever it was. And it was Balenciaga, and I wanted it, but I wasn't paying $300 for it. And it said like, I think it said some of the proceeds would go somewhere. And when I saw some of the proceeds, I was like, okay, if it's not all the proceeds going to his kids, I didn't want to spend that $300. So, but most of the time, like if it's a hoodie and it's like $80 to $120, I'm a cop it. T-shirt, $40 to $60, I'll probably cop it. You know what I'm saying? But I'd be looking for shit like that when it's expensive. You feel me? Like I need to know like it's good quality, it's not gilding, and like if it's going to like if the proceeds are going to like a cause, it's going to a good cause. You know what I'm saying? And it's more than just like, oh, we only gonna put 5% and the rest Balenciaga is gonna keep 95%. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bit tough, man. There's a silver line there for sure.
There definitely is. But you also so go back to the music. You got a new single on the way.
Yeah, I got a new single on the way. I can't announce that yet,
but it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. We just dropped the project, but I really want to follow up quickly and just kind of get into this next world of what I want to create.
Dope.
Yeah.
TBD. And we got some videos on the way. We're gonna get a video for the Dro Kenji record. You know what I'm saying? So what that's on the way too, right?
We got a video for Nightfall coming. We got a video for Forsaken coming as well.
Okay.
I'm really excited for you guys to see this. It kind of builds further on what Dusk To Dawn and how I want you guys to like see it, so I'm really excited, man. The team really went crazy, bro. Shout out to everybody that was involved.
What's the vibe of the Nightfall record? What's the vibe of like the video for it?
At the moment, we're wanting to shoot in LA, so we're kind of still like storyboarding, like conceptualizing where we want to take it, but I definitely want it to be like just visually stimulating and like fast paced.
Word. Well, that's all very exciting. Anything else that the people got to be on the lookout for before we sign off here for the day? Because I'm gonna save the rest of the conversation for when we do this in person.
Oh, man, I just want to thank you again for taking the time. Dusk To Dawn is out now. You can follow me on Instagram, Boslen, and get ready for the tour. So, yeah.
Very exciting. Boslen, Dusk To Dawn out now. Go tune in. Go bump Nightfall, please. And until next time, on the radar.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Boom.